Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my take on the February 19th, 2019 supermoon in Virgo. Now, in astrology, a supermoon is like a full moon, but only the effects can be a little more powerful and intense and amplified. Now, I don't see this as intense or as powerful, of course, as a lunar eclipse, but I look at this, though, as more powerful than a regular full moon. I mean, I could state, by example, like let's say there's somebody has a full moon in Gemini, and say it takes place in the first or the sixth house in one's natal chart. Now, this could be like some unveiling or discovery, maybe something about something minor, health-wise, Gemini related. I mean, first house, of course, is the physical body, sixth house, physical health. It could be something like, say, a sprain or an arm, wrist, or strain, or something very, something rather minor. But when you're talking about, say, a full moon, in contrast, that it could be something a little bit more serious, but not necessarily life-altering. It's more like maybe it could be some fractured forearm, something that might take a little bit longer in terms of recovery time. Now, let's say that somebody's experiencing a lunar eclipse in Gemini. And let's say that it's in their first or sixth house in their natal chart. This could be something where it could be more greater potential propensity to be life-altering. Something, for example, like maybe some strong carpal tunnel issues or some extensive irrevocable nerve damage to the arms, hands, or both. And I mean, I have my moon in Gemini, my natal chart, my first house, and I have extensive and irrevocable nerve damage. But anyway, there's more to it than that as far as the points in my chart, why that is by thing. But anyway, going back to this supermoon in Virgo, and basically this too, again, it will be also, it's going to be in closer proximity to the Earth than the regular full moon. Now, this may impact all people collectively, but especially those with a Virgo or Cancer sun, moon, or ascendant, and of course more intense if this is making a conjunction. Now, Virgo, of course, because it's in the sign, and also Cancer because, hey, I mean, Cancer is strongly impacted by all transits of the moon, given that it does rule their sign. I think a lot of this attributed to why Cancer can be so moody, fickle, and temperamental. And also, when you're talking about, I mean, supermoon, this could be a time where somebody really can strongly become tired, full, and exasperated at someone or a certain situation in their life. This could also be a time for very unrestrained, powerful, uninhibited, unadulterated emotional expression. Now, emotions that may have been suppressed for some time may be unleashed. It could be a time where one may decide to go public with something, given that this is Virgo energy. It could be something perhaps health related, or anything that really, I mean, is just, it could be something with fitness, or something that required a lot of attention or scrupulous attention to detail, something that is very, I mean, required a lot of precision, and something, I mean, this could be something, again, that one can go public with something that could be Virgo related. Now, this is also something where when you look at this is, I mean, with full moon, I mean, when you talk about a supermoon, I mean, this is about a time where something can reach a culmination or end. It could be a little bit more powerful than a regular full moon. And the effects of this can be more sustained, perhaps, than an actual regular full moon. It could be a very strong revelation, perhaps, that may take place at this time. And this is something too, given that this is Virgo energy, this could be something where many may simply become really, again, tired, exasperated, full at someone that may have been maybe overly judgmental, critical, analyzing the person continually, persistently. It could be a person being overly precise with something, about somebody that is just too much about being connected with exactitude, and being, again, overly precise and very pedantic, or overly verbose and wordy. Now, also, this could be a time too where many may complete or finish something that could be Virgo related. It could be something like some work project or endeavor. It could be such as working as a position as a statistician, detailing, a professional organizer, something with analytics, data entry, compiling data, health or fitness, something with computer programming, something that could be service related as well. And it could be something, I mean, especially say if this falls in what I consider one of the work houses in the chart. If it falls in the second, sixth, or 10th house in one's natal chart, there could be even greater propensity for somebody perhaps ending something that they may have been doing for a fairly fairly strong or sustained period. Now, also too, this is, and again, it's the money houses and work houses is how I see them as far as the second, sixth, and 10th houses go. Now, also too, in some other cases, this could be where a worrisome situation may come to an end. It could be something too, when you look at full moons, super moons in astrology, this is a time where there could be a greater propensity for accidents when this occurs. Of course, the moon is in, I mean, the emotions can be in full throttle at this point in time. And it could be a time too where a worrisome situation, I mean, well, I already talked about a worrisome situation may come in, but going back to the, as far as a propensity for accidents at this time, given that this is in Virgo, it could be perhaps connected with one being oblivious to some construction because that's work, something work related, or maybe road rage due to some derogatory critical remarks that may have been said to somebody. And also remember, at this time, you're going to have Mercury conjunct Neptune when this occurs. So this could also be the result of misconstrued, ambiguous statements. It could be where drugs and or alcohol may impair one's thinking and judgment as well. So that could also increase very tendency to have car accidents at this point in time. Now, when you're talking about a full moon or super moon in astrology, it could be about revelations or unveilings, and a little bit stronger because this is super moon. Now, this could be about an unveiling or revelation, perhaps over health-related issues, and especially if this falls in one's first or sixth house in one's natal chart. First house, because of course that is connected with the physical body. Sixth house is about our physical health, and this is something too. And given its Virgo energy, it could be something connected, say, with intestinal issue or spleen. Also, too, it could be something too. If you look at this could be. I mean, let's say if this is something, and also too, you're looking at if it's in the eighth. Say if this falls in the eighth house. I mean, this could be something where really this could be a time where maybe something might end, and something connected with shared resources. Perhaps it could be a situation with somebody that might have been overly parsimonious, overly frugal for some time, and one might become exasperated at that person, and that person wasn't putting maybe their fair share in that shared resources situation. Also, too, and that this is, I mean, another difference too, given that this is a super moon in contrast to a regular full moon, this could be something where that this could go on for maybe a little, it might be something that you may have been tired of that might have gone on for a little bit more prolonged or protracted period compared to a regular full moon. Now, could also be something too, I mean, again, and talking about another example as far as, I mean, of course, it's important to look at the house this falls in as a natal chart, as this could impact the delineation and interpretation. I gave you some examples, but I want to talk about as far as for me specifically and personally. Well, mine is going to fall in my fifth house. Now, for me, how this may manifest, well, this could indicate possibly the ending. I mean, I hope this is not some ending to some analytical or intellectual amusement or enjoyment. I hope it's nothing connected with the astrology that comes to an end. I don't think that's going to end. I don't believe it will. I mean, but at the same time, It could also be, I mean, given, hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. Anyway, well, and the fact is it's going to be very close to my south node in my fifth house. So, I mean, this could manifest in a number of ways, of course. This could be something, I mean, because of, but actually, well, first I want to get to, of course, it's important to look at the aspects this makes to points in your natal chart, as this can impact the delineation interpretation. Now, going back to fact, it's going to be conjoining my south node. Some may see it as a little bit of long conjunction, but it will, I mean, shortly after it hits this, the exact point where of this supermoon position, it will make that conjunction. But anyway, it's at this time, this could be, I mean, it'll be on its way to making a separation conjunction. So when you're talking about something like this, I mean, when something's hitting the south node and it's getting ready to pass, and of course, this could be about could be something adverse or negative actually moving away, because of course, south node energy is about what we want to get away from. Given that this transit supermoon in Virgo is getting ready, it'll be getting close at that time to be separating from my natal south node. It could be some kind of emotionally draining situation. It could be connected with some kind of critical or judgmental energy that may have been impacting my fun, my amusement, my enjoyment to some degree. And given that it's the moon in Virgo, again, this could be again, going back to the overly critical judgmental thing, it could be a female person, or overly judgmental, critical, pedantic female person, or someone I simply feel close to home with that might have been causing some emotional distress, some excessive worrying, some anxiety, perhaps. And also on a positive end, though, another way this can manifest for me, I think, is that this could be a time where I may experience something where I'm showing really where I might get, I mean, the moon could be about the public, and it could be public recognition for maybe my natural, maybe kind of, you could say, built-in Virgo abilities, the south node in Virgo. I mean, when the south node on a positive end, this could be something where you could be something where you could really be proficient in on a positive level, even though you're supposed to get away from that energy to some degree. The fact that the transit moon is going to be making, you could say, a long conjunction, perhaps to that my south node in Virgo. This could be in the fifth house. The way this can manifest, perhaps, is really showing a lot of that very strong, perhaps maybe that analytical ability, in detail-oriented ability, in something that I truly enjoy. It could even be the ability to do so with something sports related. Now, I don't physically do sports, but as many of you may know, I do like the NFL videos during the season. Now, granted, I won't be doing any at this time, but somebody could see something, previous video I had done, NFL prediction video, and say, okay, well, maybe that somebody does, and you might get a little bit more recognition for that, as far as that goes. And also, I think when you look at Virgo energy, it could be about extrapolation of data, enduring, and something statistical. And the fact that when I do those NFL videos, a lot of times sometimes I may be projecting some kind of numbers that I think are approximate numbers somebody might put up in a game, such as like touchdown passes or yards thrown. So you get the idea, and it's something where that might be more, that energy might be more recognized at that time. But anyway, people, the next thing I want to talk about as far as the supermoon in Virgo goes, this could be, I want to give another example is, I mean, let's say if this falls in one's 8th house. Now, this could be perhaps the completion of some analytical psychology, maybe studying a person may have done, or it could be an astrological project, given that this could be done where someone was very punctilious and scrupulous with details. Now, or even the unveiling of a Virgo like surgery related matter, such as something perhaps some with the intestine, or something with the spleen perhaps. Now, another thing too is that it's also important to look at the aspects this makes electionally when this transit, other points that this might hit in transit, because this could impact the interpretation delineation. Now, this is going to, at this time, this is going to make a sextile. I'm sorry, it's going to make a trine to Mars at this time. So the fact that it's going to make that trine to Mars, it could really show that whatever the person may want to do, say if it's about some ending or culmination that's something Virgo related, they could have the right amount of energy to do, and it could be very latent energy that could be blended in, since we're talking about Mars in Taurus. Now, again, and also too, I like looking at the degree is important as well, because this could flavor the energy and interpretation as well. Now, this supermoon in Virgo is going to fall at 0 degrees. Now, looking at it at 0 degrees, this could be something where it could indicate very perhaps strong ability to unleash one's full potential of what may have been held back or suppressed for some time. Now, again, you're gonna, and also it's important to look at the other, perhaps other aspects that are made that may not involve this supermoon at this time, as this could impact, as this energy could be intensified and amplified because it's taking place at the time of the supermoon in Virgo. So this is something, I mean, looking at this as well, Mars is going to be making, some may see as a little bit of a long conjunction with Uranus, but this can flavor this by perhaps someone doing something very audacious. It could be something, and again, going back to the sextile to Mars and Taurus, suggests having the right amount of energy, and also, and again, latent energy, and also too, it's what I want to talk about as well. I mean, Uranus is going to conjunct Mars and Taurus at this time. And again, this energy could be amplified because it's taking place at the time of the supermoon in Virgo. Now, this could give perhaps, this could indicate perhaps very unpredictable, acrimonious behavior. And it could be, given that we're talking about Mars and Taurus energy blended in and integrated with this Uranus energy, it could be connected with rather sustained, persistent provocation, and it may give added anger to the supermoon energy, given that the supermoon, when you're talking about supermoon, again, could be amplified version of a full moon, and it could be about releasing a lot of suppressed emotion and energy. And you do have the Uranus conjunct Mars and Taurus, Uranus going to conjunct Mars and Taurus at this time, and it could add to this. Now, could also do, and again, this could be about very audacious energy and starting something after something is completed, because you're talking about, it's going to be, given it's at 0 degrees Virgo, I think when you have like, say, where it's a full moon or supermoon or lunar eclipse, and you have it at 0 degrees, it's somewhat, it could be a little bit paradoxical, because what it is when you're talking about that full moon energy, that could of course represent the culmination or completion of something. But if you have it when it's at 0 degrees, 0 degrees of course could signify or suggest the beginning of something as well. Now also, could also, when looking at this as well, the fact that you're going to have this Mars Uranus conjunction, now this could indicate perhaps some volatile and seismic activity at this time. This could be something, and also remember, there's not going to be any planets that are going to be retrograde at this time. So what it is whatever you're doing in connection with this full moon Virgo energy could likely be done with very little procrastination and hesitation. It could also, but remember too, you're also, another thing to point out about the time of this supermoon in Virgo, there's going to be no planets in air at this time. So it may be a time where some may have difficulty communicating things that it is related to this energy. But the thing is, and again, going back to the potential for the strong volcanic activity, remember that you're going to have the Uranus-Mars conjunction, and it's going to be Aries and Taurus blended in as well. Uranus, remember, okay, Uranus is could be about disaster. It's going to be at the full culmination, 29 degrees. It's going to conjunct Mars. Mars is about things that are volatile and explosive. And when you're talking about in Taurus, this is about the lava changing, making the transition to rock material. And the Aries, Uranus and Aries again, Aries can be about the lava. So you understand how the way this could manifest. This is I do see as a very good possibility of some strong volcanic activity at this time. And I thought it was interesting too. I saw something online for somebody had the interpretation of this as this 0 degree in Virgo. It was listed at 1 degree in Virgo, but I believe it actually represented 0 degrees, because on the site it had 30 degrees listed, 1 through 30. That's really 0 through 29. So in other words, that 1 degree, I believe, equaled 0. But anyway, on the website, it said something about a volcano erupting at night. Now, I think that was more of a metaphor for something. It was more figurative or symbolic, or more of a metaphor than literal, but it just makes me wonder if that could be something where it could increase that propensity for some strong volcanic activity. So that is something to look at. And again, what I want to some other things I want to talk about as far as this goes. Now, I thought what was interesting too, because when you're having this supermoon in Virgo, of course, you're talking about Pisces and Virgo energy. I mean, now the supermoon will be in Virgo, but the sun will be in Pisces. I noticed that. Hold on a moment, people. Well, it was interesting. I saw something online on this date, on February 19th. There's going to be something held in Lewiston, Maine, and it's called it's debunking health myths. Well, I think this kind of epitomizes this energy, because when you're talking about, okay, full/supermoons can of course be about revelations and unveilings and becoming cognizant of things, awareness. Now, looking at this, I think this is classic blending of Pisces Virgo energy, because this could be about revealing things that are fallacious, which could be Pisces, regarding health. And of course, health is Virgo related. This could be about strongly differentiating and distinguishing fact from fallacy, illusion versus reality, and refuting things pertaining to health that may be imagined and distorted. So those are some things to look at as far as this goes. So there's really this is something given again this. And I wanted to say one last thing I thought was interesting about this. Oh, by the way, the thing about that a volcano erupting at night, that was on the website Aqua, I believe it's aquaorfire.net. That's the name of it, aquaorfire.net. That's the one. So I thought that was very interesting. And given this is Virgo energy, these anything kind of ending may be done in a rather perfunctory manner. But remember that this is a supermoon, it still could have very strong emotional energy, of course. And the one last thing I wanted to get at, as far as this goes, this could be, I thought it's interesting that this is going to fall in Donald Trump's first house. It's going to make a rather close conjunction to his ascendant, actually. Thought it was interesting. I don't know if some of you may have seen this. They were talking about Donald Trump's his BMI, his body mass index, I believe, was above average, above normal at this time. Now, the thing about this is I just wonder, I mean, remember that the moon can be connected with the stomach. There could be maybe some issues that might come to the surface as far as this goes. It might not be anything, really super serious because, again, this is not, I mean, a supermoon could be powerful, but not to the extent of a lunar eclipse. This could be something where, I mean, it could just be something when you're talking about, I mean, given that it's Virgo energy, it could be something, maybe it could be rather light. It could be maybe with Donald Trump, could be just some, maybe a stomach issue. Could there be something with the, small intestine that might not be overly serious and something or like an IBS situation, irritable bowel syndrome, something that could be light and Virgo related. And again, given that the moon can be connected with the stomach, there could be some issues with that as well. Just something to keep an eye on. But anyway, and also what I wanted to get at was going back to the thing I was talking about before about that there's something going to be held in Lewiston, Maine on February 19th called Debunking Health Myths. Well, the thing about this is I think this is something that might be, these kind of meetings might be rather prevalent at this time, given that this is going to be the supermoon in Virgo, and you're going, of course, to have that Pisces and Virgo energy blending. And again, I think this is about what people are going to have to look at, whether it's a health matter, what have you. A lot of people may be seen trying to shine the light, so to speak, on what's illusion and really what is actually reality at this point in time, and what are the myths that are regarding health. And even, I mean, Virgo energy could be about work-related issues. It could be about finding out about things that could be work-related, whether, I mean, basically what are the things that maybe with some things that are connected with their employment that may have been hidden, that might have been maybe that were maybe where the person maybe was lied to. People may have been lied to about certain things regarding their employment and actually what is real, and it might shine the light on that illusion and understanding what's reality in a lot of work and employment related matters for people at this point in time. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my take on the February 19th, 2019 supermoon in Virgo. And stay tuned next time, where I'm going to be talking about being, and as far as astrology goes, being born on a lunar eclipse. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person astrologically speaking based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.